to Donald's Music Reviews here, and it is time to do the top 30 albums of 2016. I'm going to talk to you about my favorite releases of the year, and sadly, I did not review any of these albums. However, the good news is I will review most of these albums next year, along with new albums that will be coming out in 2017. So let's get started. And if you hear me using the keyboard on the laptop, it's because I'm scrolling through the list of albums that I created. So here we go. So at number 30, we got Don't Look Down by Mr. Lif, which is one of my personal favorite underground hip-hop albums of the year. Mr. Lif, he improved a lot when it comes to doing some amazing freestyles, and I'm not disappointed with what he's been writing as it comes to hip-hop. So it's a great album. If you don't really care for today's mainstream hip-hop, then this is for you. Check it out on Spotify and Apple Music. It's available on those music streaming services. And I'll do a review of that album sometime in 2017. At number 29, we got the self-titled album by Serpentine Dominion, the new supergroup that features Cannibal Corpse lead vocalist Corpse Grinder Fisher, and also features the Killswitch Engage guitarist Adam D and Shannon Lucas, the drummer of the Black Dahlia Murder. This is just an intense album. I really like it a lot. It's a brutal album that contains clean vocals on certain tracks, and this is just one of my favorite albums of 2016. The only downside of this album is that it's too short. It's like, from what I remember when listening to it, it was about 30 minutes or so, less than an hour long, but it's a great album. I like all the tracks, including The Vengeance in Me. It's a good song. Very heavy with Corpse Grinder's screams and growls. So that's plus when it comes to the Serpentine Dominion self-titled album. At number 28, we got Jom's Viking by Amon Amarth. This is my favorite release of 2016. I heard this album the day it was released. I listened to it on Apple Music, and it's just a heavy Viking metal album, very intense, and I enjoy the vocals and of course the guitar work and the drums. This is just a fantastic melodic death metal album. Personally, I think that this is better than Deceiver of the Gods. Amon Amarth, they improved on songwriting, and the vocalist, he's improved on his vocals a lot, and his growls are fantastic. I enjoy them a lot. My favorite tracks off this album are First Kill, Wander, Raise Your Horns. Those songs are incredible. I like them a lot. Number 27, we got Low Teens by Every Time I Die. This is a fantastic album. Keith Buckley has improved on his vocals a lot. And this album features a track that features Brandon Urie on vocals. The song is entitled It Remembers. That song is one of my personal favorites besides C++ Love Will Get You Killed. And I never wanted to join your stupid cult anyway. That's a good song too. Along with The Coin Has a Say. So that's it. Those are 3 good songs off of Low Teens. Now, like I mentioned on Domo's Music Reviews, I review everything. I review death metal, I review hip hop, pop, whatever comes to mind. So this next one is not a metal album. This is a pop album. Coming in number 26 here on my top 30 albums 2016 on Domo's Music Reviews. We got Dangerous Woman by Ariana Grande. This is a fantastic album. You know, if you listen to Ariana Grande's previous release, you're gonna like this album. This album's fantastic. I like it a lot. My favorite tracks off this album are I like Into You, the title track, Dangerous Woman, and the other tracks that are on there. I forgot there are, but I only know those 2 song titles off the top of my head right now. But Dangerous Woman, it's a great album, solid all the way. Like I said, I did not review all these albums this year. However, the good news, I'll be reviewing all of these albums next. Now we're getting back into the metal spectrum. After the Ariana Grande's Dangerous Woman at number 26, we got The Fall of Hearts by Catatonia at number 25. Fantastic progressive metal release. Very mellow. This is better than Dead End Kings, whatever it's called, came out in 2012. Forgot the title. I think that's what it's called. This album blows the album out of the water. This is a fantastic album. I really enjoy it. I like the first few singles off this album. They're phenomenal. And I'll do a review of this album sometime next year as well. At number 24 we got Serenity of Suffering by Korn. This is a masterpiece. If you dig The Untouchables that came out in 2002, this album, to me, it sounds a lot like if Korn were to record this in 2003 or 2004, because it kind of has that same production that the Untouchables album did, as in the guitars and the drums, so on. Today, in 2016, it sounds, modern, but to me, my personal opinion, it kind of sounds like if this album were to be a follow-up to the Untouchables album that came out back in 2002. So, if you were to take a look in the mirror in the album, the album was never released in 2003, I could have seen this album being released in 2003 or 2004. Because the Serenity of Suffering, it's just a fantastic release. And for all you Korn fans out there, some of you who were disappointed with the last 2 releases or whatever, especially with the one with Skrillex, which I liked a lot, you're not going to be disappointed with this album. This album goes back to old school Korn. My favorite songs from this album are Insane, Riding in Vain, Black is the Soul, Take Me, A Different World that features Corey Taylor. He nailed it when it comes to the vocals on that track. That song is my favorite song off of the album. And Never There, which is one of my favorite songs off of The Serenity of Suffering. Yeah, this is a good album. I wasn't left hanging when listening to it. It's a fantastic release. I dig it a lot. So stick around for a review of the album in 2017. Coming in at number 23, we've got Chaos by Attila. And don't give me hate for it. I like Attila. I mean, I used to not like him when they released Guilty Pleasure. It was just too annoying because, Fran's vocals, his screams was super irritating. But he's improved a lot on this album. Production's different. This album features a bit of clean vocals, which is interesting, especially on the song Bulletproof. Kinda has that Franz, screams a bit on that song. It's a good track, and Chaos, this is a fantastic Attila album. I'm happy that they did not do their little interlude tracks on this album compared to songs that were off of the Guilty Pleasures album, because that ruined the album completely. Because you got the 30-second interlude tracks such as I Am Satan and that song Don't Be Basic. I think that was pretty stupid of Attila to do that. So I'm glad this album, Chaos, features 11 full tracks instead of 20 to 30-second samples. That was super annoying on Guilty Pleasures. But Chaos at number 23 by Attila. At number 22, we got a country album. We got Take Your Roots by Florida Georgia Line. This album is just solid. I did dig this album a lot. It features one of the members of the Backstreet Boys on one of the singles. I think that's pretty cool. It's at number 11, I believe. I forgot what it's called. I need to do my research. But this is a good album. If you like modern country, you're gonna dig this album. This is just a fantastic country release of 2016. I should have listened to more country this year, but I was kind of stuck in the metal world and the hip hop world. So for 2017, my goal is to listen to more country. Expand it a bit. Listen to everything in 2017. Metal, country, all the good stuff. And this album, Dig Your Roots, also features a single that features Tim McGraw vocals, guest vocals. So that's pretty cool. I like that song a lot, and that's track number 6 off the album. So, number 22, Dig Your Roots by Florida Georgia Line. Inherent Disease with Ephemeral, very awesome, brutal death metal at number 21. This album is solid from start to finish. If you like Pathology, their Awakens of the Suffering album that came out in 2011, or The Time of Great Purification, you're gonna dig this album. This album is brutal, intense. It's just my personal favorite album in 2016 when it comes to brutal death metal. This album is they talk about this right after a country album. It's kind of random, but yeah, this is a pretty good release. And I'll be reviewing the album sometime next year, so stick around. Ephemeral by Inherent Disease at number 21. Now we're getting to the top 20. So at number 20, we got The Black by Asking Alexandria. I listened to this album when it came out. The same day that Amon Amarth released their album John's Viking on March 25th, 2016. Getting ahead of myself. March 25th. I listened to it and I enjoyed it a lot. This album features a new vocalist, Dennis Stoff. I don't know where he's from when it comes to bands, but according to an article I read about a month or two ago, Asking Alexandria, they got back together with their old vocalist, Danny Wurznak, and I guess Dennis Stoff left the band without telling the band, giving no information about what just happened, so what he's gonna do. So the old singer Danny Wurznak decided to join Asking Alexandria again, especially since their 10-year anniversary tour of In the Black, which is interesting. So, and I got into Asking Alexandria back in 2011. A friend of mine showed me a few tracks off of their Stand Up and Scream album. So I think that was pretty cool. So number 20, we've got The Black by Asking Alexandria, which I'll review sometime next year. And number 19 is Hardwired to Self-Destruct by Metallica. Fantastic album, 2016. This album is way better than Death Magnetic, because Death Magnetic, it was very amplified. You know, if you listen to this album with earphones on, you know what I'm talking about. Like, the production was turned up so loud. It sounded like it just didn't sound that good. The songs were great, don't get me wrong. The tracks were amazing, but the drums and guitars, they were just so like amplified. It sounded like if you were to mic up, if you were to put a mic next to a keyboard or plug in a voice recorder into a thick 3/4 inch cable, those big pad cables, and plug it straight into your keyboard. The headphone jack is like a Casio keyboard, turn it up full blast, and then press record on your digital recorder. That's how bad it was. It was just super amplified. Like, there was a lot of clipping on the album, and I didn't like that. So on Hardwired to Self-Destruct, it's not like that. It's perfect. And this album should have just came out in 2008. And it took 8 years for Metallica to release those albums. You get what I mean? So we got Hardwired to Self-Destruct by Metallica. My favorite songs off this album are Atlas Rise, Moth into Flame, and Hardwired. Those are good songs. My personal favorite, and stick around for a review of that album in 2017. Coming in at number 18, we got The Whole of the Law by Amon Amarth. Very intense industrial death metal, I call it. I don't know what genre this is, but if you were to put a bit of electronic synthesized drums with this album, it kind of reminds me of Nine Inch Nails were to go death metal. That's what it sounds like, completely. There's a lot of synthesized drums on this album, electronic drums, but there's the regular drums as well. But there's a lot of blast beats, a lot of distorted high screams, low growls, a bit of clean vocals. It kind of reminds me of Judas Priest a little bit, some of the tracks. But it's just all a mixture of electronic, industrial metal, but more of like a death metal vibe, heavy stuff. I listened to it on my iPod today, and this album was just intense. One of my favorite albums of 2016. So stick around for The Whole of the Law by Amon Amarth. Now we're getting back into the metal. This is more of like the hardcore stuff. We've got Headspace by Issues at number 17. Just amazing stuff. Amazing album that features clean vocals by Tyler Carter. He's one of my personal favorite vocalists